Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm gonna be giving you guys my first place locals Dragon Link deck profile. I went 4-0 at my locals on Tuesday. I'm just now having time to do the deck profile. I beat Dragoons Eldritch Run 1, 2 Virtual World, 3 Salamangreat, and 4 Tri Brigade with Ancient Warriors. It was like Tri Brigade Ancient Warriors. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started with the main. In the main, it's a 43. I like 40, but I wanted to add a few extra hand traps. So for hand traps, we have 3 Ash, 3 Valor, 3 Gamma, and the Almighty Driver. These hand traps were amazing. I wanted to use like the most generic ones. I don't want to put like Nib or anything in there because it was our first locals back since quarantine, so I didn't know what anybody was playing. So I wanted to pick like the most standard stuff. For main engine cards, we have 3 Chamber. I wanted to play Chamber because I feel like this card will at least give you an interruption no matter what. And like even if they if that goes through and let's say they affect Valor and Perm or even Ash this, you'll still have an interruption and Striker will be back in extra deck, so you can do it all again. So it's usually a neg1 for them, or neg2 technically. So this performed extremely well. Every time I saw this, I was winning. Seafert, I saw this all day yesterday. I never used it really. I might cut this down to 1. Hitting it off of like Chaos Emperor is really good though. That's like the best part. Like all these light targets, that's really what you want it for, light targets. So Effect Valor, really great. Even if like you don't add this, like let's say you hit something else you want, this engrave is also good for recursion. So that's why I wanted to play more light targets, because when I was testing this deck before quarantine, I was never hitting any lights because like Seafert and Gamma were like the only thing. Next extenders, we have Noctovision. I was playing 2. I kind of got down to 1. It's really good though because you want to see 2 dragons, and it's really good for chain blocking. But I may or may not cut this, not too sure just yet. For the rockets, we have 2 Tracer, 1 Silver, 1 Recharger, and 1 Synchron. I feel like this ratio is the best. I know a lot of people want to see Tracer, but opening it isn't the greatest sometimes because like the only thing this does is end you on Savage, and that's about it. And like most people can out Savage, and then you're kind of just out 2 cards, and then you normally pop your Boot Sector, so it doesn't even give you recursion. Silver's amazing. Just being able to look at your opponent's extra deck and taking one out, just having any form of knowledge against them is amazing. Recharger, obviously special from Grave, and Synchron also for recursion. We also play Chaos Dragon Livionaire, amazing. Ripping a card, great. Popping back rows, also amazing. Omni Dragon Brotar, I might cut Brotar once. I used the effect just once though, and it was to search the levy obviously. But other than that, normally you don't have a lot of cards in your hand. If you do, they're hand traps. So the pitch one is awful. Having a body is good. One time it did save me, but that's about it. White and black, obviously. Red Eyes. I don't play the baby. The baby is kind of a brick because you don't want to normal that. You want a normal chamber. Like obviously, if you don't see normal, it's fine. This you normally summon off of like spheres, or if you do get nibbed, stuff like that. Absol obviously just search your rockets. I might play 2 Absol. I used to run 2, but for today I just wanted to run 1. For spells, we got World Elixir Guard Dragon at 3. This card's not that great. Bell is in the game, Crow because it's Striker. So a lot of times this is just kind of like meh. You don't really get to use it. One game I did win with this. It was actually in the final round. I drew into it off Nocto and it was nuts. I needed it. Quick launch. Get access to your rockets. Best spell. Chaos Space. Just being able to draw 1 or even like reoccur your extra deck's amazing. One idea I had was running Dragon's Mirror. So like when these are in your grave, you can banish your Striker and reoccur Striker. So that's really good. Call by the Grave. Like I said, the deck's 43. Call by the Grave is amazing. I mean, it stops a lot of stuff right now, so that's why I run it. If you see this, I mean, you feel a little safer your turn 1. Dragon Ravine, and set your launch for your field spells. And then 3 Tiding. I might cut this down to 2. I'm not too sure yet because seeing this does give you an extender. when you pitch off Ravine, being able to summon back the Dragon Maid. And just opening it too is amazing. Just having any form of interruption is great. And onto the extra deck. The extra deck's kind of like, I feel like it can change a few things, but I was very happy with it. I wasn't missing anything throughout the tournament in terms of my extra deck. The only thing I really wanted literally one time, was Dill. But I cut Dill out for a third Spheres, because like I said, I didn't know what people were playing, and this deck is really grindy. So just being able to outgrind your opponents is amazing. So for Link 4s, I play Unchained Abomination. Abomination is really good. You pop silver and then you can look at their extra deck. Also just popping things on end phase, because like I said, I didn't know what the format was, and before a lot of people were playing like back row decks at my locals, so just having something to clear back row was great. Not having a hard draw into your side back row removal was great. So but I'll get into my side later as well. Borrelsword to OTK and Appaloosa. See, the beauty about Borrelsword is, this is what happened in game 3. I OTK'd my opponent by going to Boral, and so he thought I was going to do the same thing. I had enough to make Boral regardless, but I went into Appaloosa to play safe because he only had one card in hand, and it was Nibiru. So I think my board was something like this, and then I had Levy in hand. I summoned this, and I was like right here, and I was like response, and I went to Appaloosa, and he was like, well, never mind. So it's good just to keep your opponent on your toes. Not doing the same thing is obviously a great thing to do, but I love Appaloosa just for that, just being able to protect from dead. And then we have 3 Spheres. So like I was saying, the deck's a little more grindy now. It's not really you know, like make an unstoppable board, because obviously we don't have LP anymore. So you kind of want to play a little more conservative with the deck. But this card's amazing, obviously giving you recursion, bouncing sudden back, non-targeting. Really good card. So I ran 3. I didn't think I needed 3. In my last match, I did need the third one. It did come up. I remember like right before the match starting, I'm like, I don't even know why I played 3. I only made 1 all day. And then I get to my final match, and I made the third one. So that was pretty good. But honestly, I could have made like a Dill instead of the Spheres when I was going against the guy, but I made it just in case. Romulus, obviously, to search your Ravine. Also the effect where, you know, if you summon something to it, you can special, comes up if you want to go into like a synchro play before that, because obviously it restricts you for link summoning. Masquerena is so good. Just ending on like this is like the standard board you'll make. It all depends on what you're playing against, but like the standard board is is something like this. So you can either make like Appaloosa or Unchain, your opponent never knows, and then obviously can't be destroyed, and so it's pretty good. And then because like I don't play Unicorn. I feel like Unicorn, you need a card to pitch, and that's what I was talking about this deck. You don't have a lot of discard outlets, so not the best. So let me get back to where we're at. Okay, so Quad Boral, best card, you know. Like I said, most of the cards in this deck you do have to discard, and that's like the downfall of it, because Pisty really help with recursion in terms of just like adding cards or having something to give you another body. So Quad Boral is also like a -1. Striker, obviously search boot sector. Pisty, I made Pisty once all day Tuesday. Gets my first round. I did like full combo, which is nice, but you normally don't combo. Borreload, Chaos or Pepega, and then red. So these 3 are amazing. The only card that you could probably change in the extra is number 68. I had this just in case I played against Drytron. I think this deck doesn't have the best Drytron matchup, so just having something to like fully stop them is pretty good. This could be anything. I wanted it to be Zombie Stein, but I couldn't find my Zombie Stein, or I was too lazy to find it. But I only summoned this once anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. There was no Drytron players, thank gosh. And onto the side. The side can be anything. Like I said, it was our first locals back, so I didn't know what anybody was playing. So I did use Lancia. I cited it in like every game, but never saw it, even off like my mills. Never saw it, so I was pretty sad. 2 turtle kaijus. I ran these just because adding Nisters, I play online, you can out their stuff with Boral, but this just makes it a lot easier. So I put these in also against Striker. Like I said, no, I didn't know when it was playing, so I knew one of my buddies was playing Striker, so that would have helped me there. So I did use the Turtle Kaiju once. It was really good. I did it against Dragoons. I think I slapped it on Dragoons. 2 Drolls. Going forward, I'll probably make this go to 3. A lot of people were adding cards. Like I said, I didn't know anybody was playing, so I only played 2. 1 Phantasme. Like I said, I didn't know what to put on my side. I just didn't. So I will for next Tuesday unless people change things up. But I did put 1 Phantasme because with Phantasme, at least I know if they're playing Striker, I can just side 1 in. If they do make me go first, I can send Alpsorider with Alp Spheres and just, or off of Seafort, and just add this. So it is searchable. That's why I ran it at 1. Pankratops, I think this is a really good card. You know, just being able to special summon itself. Really good. Especially when people are saying in like there can only be and stuff like that. Cosmic Cyclone, this and these were probably the things I said in most. I saw Cosmic about every time I cited in, which is amazing because a lot of times people were just having so much back row and I just didn't want to deal with it. I didn't see the Lightning Storms or the Feather Dusters at all, but all in all, really good cards. Most of the decks I was playing against did have 1 or 2 back row, so that was good. But my tournament experience was really good. Had a lot of fun.